everyone, welcome to Myrtleknits. My name's Liz and I live in England. I live in the south of England in a place called West Sussex, and this is episode 7. Now, if you've watched before, episode 6 didn't go so well. It took me a little while, so I was a little bit late. So I'm a bit late with this one because my husband changed his days he does a compressed week, so he's normally off on a Friday, but he's had to change, so he had yesterday off instead. So I'm a day late compared to what I'm trying to do every other week on a Monday. But last time it was a Wednesday because, like I say, everything just went a bit wrong, a bit pear-shaped with storage problems really. So yeah, it just took a while to get going. So we're working on the phone and fingers crossed it will all go swimmingly today, but we shall see. But first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who watched my previous episodes. And last week or last time, thank you to those who commented. That's really appreciated, and it was lovely to have a quick chat. Now we'll get straight in with what's been going on. So what's been going on in the past couple of weeks? It's had some sunshine. That's good. We've got some sunshine today. Which I'm starting to feel a bit warm actually, but we'll talk about this in a minute. It's a beautiful sunshine. We've had the coronation, which was not the weekend just gone, but the weekend before, and that was really good, mainly because I had my children with me, so we got to spend some time with them. But also I watched the coronation, really enjoyed it. It's just wonderful to see, and you know, everything that was put on, and they had a concert on the Sunday, and that was really good. And then they encouraged people to have a lunch, which I invited my parents and the children here, and that was really nice as well. So we all got together with that. But I think that's what's been going on. And this weekend, so the weekend just gone, I went to a place called Box Hill, which is part of the Surrey Hills, and that was really nice. We went up right to the top you can go to, and we had a picnic, and I met up with some family that I hadn't seen for over 3 years, so that was really, really nice. Lovely to catch up, lovely afternoon. The weather was on our side, so we had a few hours up there in the afternoon, and then travelled back home, and yeah, had a really lovely time. And then the rest of the weekend's been fairly quiet. But so knitting wise, obviously I've been doing lots of knitting because it's not been quite knitting, that's for sure. But knitting wise today, I've got my notes, so if I keep looking down and you hear some rustling, I always try to say that I've got some notes with me, just try and keep me slightly on track, remembering what I'm doing. So the first thing is what's been going on. No, that's, see, I read the wrong page. So it's not that at all. It's my finished objects. So last time, well, I think the past couple of times I've mentioned about roll the dice socks, which is a bit of a game, 2 games in one, I say. It's a yarn chicken game and rolling the dice. And this is them here finished. So I decided I rolled the dice for all of this section. I chose the colours to start with, so those who haven't watched previously, I chose 6 colours, had 1 dice, we can't make up our minds, is it die? Do I just say die or dice? And I rolled the dice for the colour, so I'd numbered them, and whatever came up I used that, and I rolled the dice again, and that just decided how many stripes I was going to do. So it was really good fun, and I'm definitely going to do some more, but maybe change it up a little bit. There was a lot of ends, lots and lots of ends to weave in. Not that I mind doing those, once I'm underway, I actually quite enjoy it. I try to do it quite methodically, sort of travel up, and so it's fine, but I think there could be an easier way to play this game. But anyway, this yarn, the grey yarn, is a Paintbox yarn, and that's slate grey. And then, except the purple, the others were a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and it was cherry drop for the red, chocolate lime for the green, cornflower for the blue, and butterscotch for the yellow. And the purple was Cascade Heritage Yarns, and it's called Purple Hyacinth. Now what I will do, as I always try to do is I pop some episode notes in Ravelry, and then I'll transfer and try and put links on in the description of this video so that you can go straight to, if you see anything you like, any colours you like, you can go straight to that and look at those yarns, purchase those yarns, whatever you want to do. Now, the next finished object, that is the only finished object I've got, but I'm going to call it a half finished object because I think I might wear it like this just for a little while. It's my winter woolly, and the winter woolly is a knit jumper so far, but I'm going to do some embroidery on it of lots of little Christmas trees. So it's called my winter woolly, but as I've said in previous videos, it's actually my Christmas jumper. But we're going to have summer first before I talk too much about Christmas, because I'm Christmas crazy. But this is the jumper, and I'm really pleased with it because one of my videos I did say I was unsure on my raglan decreases. It's the first time I've knit from bottom up and kept everything on the needles, added the sleeves to the needles, and then worked out my raglan decreases. But it worked out really well. I was concerned that how the neck would be, because I like something a bit closer. I don't like anything too wide, and it's worked out really, really well. I'm really, really pleased with it. So I'll just show you. It's got just a block sweater at the moment, so it's vanilla cream on the bottom, and this is Pistachio Green, I think, again in Paintbox Yarns, and I think it is their Aran weight. I think I've got, yes I have, I've got a ball of it here. If I can just show you that, you can just see if we can not get the sunshine from the sunroom next to me. So Paintbox Yarns, and that is Pistachio Green. I've also got the green here that I'm gonna, I don't know if it goes, I'm hoping it goes, to put all the little trees over. Add a comment, you know, but I will still plod ahead probably. but I like to hear what other people think. Maybe somebody would come up with another really good idea or something I can do next time. So this is the colour that's going to be going with it, again Paintbox Yarns. But for now, I think I'm going to keep it like this because I think the colours in it lend itself quite nicely to summer. So a summer's evening when it's cooled down a little bit, I can pop this on. So really happy with it. So it's been blocked. That took a bit of doing because it was quite weighty once it'd been in the water, soaking for a while. But again, I was lucky enough to have a nice day, and I've got a table out in the garden that's one of these tables that's full of holes, a metal table, but it's full of holes. So I laid the towel out on that, so it had some air coming up from underneath, air all around. So actually, it didn't take too long to dry off at all. So it was really good. But I think as far as, again, finished objects is either non-existent or it just has a couple. It's never very much, I don't think, but that might change. I might be super speedy one time, or maybe there'll be some time off and it'll be longer and there'll be some more. But that's it for today. Now I'm just going to turn the page and you hear that noise. Okay, so what we've got next is last week. This was so it's actually the previous knits, and so last week it was this shawl I showed you, but it had a hole in it, which I think like I said, I think the moth may have been at it, might not. Maybe I caught it on something because it had been sitting in the bottom of my wardrobe. But I had some of these, I had some of these flowers that my nan had crocheted many, many, many years ago, and I've just had them in a little box, treasuring them really. I've got some on the other side as well, so it's on both sides. I did 3 either side, and I think it'll make it as a nice, obviously I can wrap it around my neck and the flowers may not show, but if I want them showing, I can wear it as a shawl. And I did purchase, so here in England we've got scout groups and cub groups, and they use these toggles. I think they call them, when I was plugging it into Google, I think they call them wopples for their neckerchiefs they wear. That's part of their uniform. So I ordered one of those. It's just leather and it's been plaited, and I thought it looked rather nice. So I am going to take this off now. I've shown it though. So that was the previous knit from last week that I had to show you, and with the amendment done now. What did I call it last week? Invisible mend, that's it. So that's all done there. I don't think there's another previous knit. I'm just looking around. Have I left something? Well, there is something I'm going to show you, which is part of the previous knit, which I talked about last week, which was some toys that I'd knitted a few years back for somebody's wedding. It's from Little Cotton Rabbits, but I will move on to that. There's a different section, so look out for that in just a while. So I think next is what's on my needles. I've got my usual bedtime knit, but as you know, I think I'd taken these and I was doing these because I was really enjoying it, and my bedtime knit did get pushed to the side a little bit, and I showed a little I'd started last week. I've just done a small amount, and so I've done some more, but like I say, with a bedtime knit I don't do very many rounds because I fall asleep because I just get really tired. So that's that done there. Excuse me, I've just got to bend down because I've dropped the actual, I want to show you the complete sock that the first one I've done, and it had dropped on the floor. But this is the first one, and I think last week I was saying that I worked out, I found the spot that I thought was going to make them pretty much match. So I'm covering my face. So I think I did quite a good job, I think. All looking good so far. The only thing is, this one, again, my memory, I think I blocked this one to show you when I finished it. But this one, what I really liked about these are quite springy, but they're going to be quite snug because they're a rib, but a 3 knit 1 purl. But this one looks considerably smaller than this one, which I felt they looked smaller before, and I'm pretty sure this is the needles I was doing them, so I think I need to wait until they're blocked. But even if it was a different needle, I don't think it's going to really matter, apart from I might be able to feel it slightly on my foot. I just don't think with these that it would be too much of a concern. But the yarn for this is, I just need to find that, Viking of Norway yarns, and it's colour 612. My next thing that I've got on my needles is my crescent shawl. Sorry, my yarns they need to unwind a little bit so I can hold it up for you. I'll try not to put it in front of my face this time, like the last lot. So this is my crescent shawl. I have done quite a bit of work on this. So this sort of starts there and all the way over here, to the point I think I've got to the point where I've got a little marker here, which I've just put in because I'm just going to go on the straight now until I start doing the decreases the other side. So I've increased, I think, up to where I want to, and then I will start decreasing. This is the one where I had the words, they escape me. Oh, what edging is this? It might come to me in a while, but it was a new to me, so I might do a new to me video showing me learning this edging technique. But the reason for me doing this shawl is Max the knitter. He's got a moon bump shawl, which I really want to knit, and the intention was that's what I would do. But as I've said in previous episodes, I end up going off on my own little adventure. But all credit still goes to Max the knitter. I'd want you to, if you were thinking, actually I like that, I'd want you to perhaps check out his pattern on Ravelry. And it's called Moon Bumps. It's beautiful, and it includes this. I called there you go, it's I-cord edging, but he's got, so I've just ended up going for stripes, but he's got some I-cord stripes, which are great, and he's got a very clear pattern. I found it clear. I know that we've all got our different ways we look at things and interpret things. But what was really good for his stripes, he's done a really good video as well. So check him out. He's very good. And also he's got a podcast called Les Garçons, which is really good. He does it with his partner Vincent, and I thoroughly enjoy their videos. So check those out on YouTube as well. So what have we got next? Should I just tell you? I will tell you about the yarns, because I have got the information here. I've just dropped them again. I need to get a different side that I use. Here I go again. So I've got some drops kid silk. Again, I will list all of these for you. I think these ones are a bit more tricky to get. Hopefully that's the last I'm going to draw. And again, another kid silk, and they were colours 18 and 19. This one here, so this green, so I did 2 rows in this, and then 2 rows held together of the kid silk. Now this one, I'm just going to look, it's a Lana Grossa yarn, and that colour is 011, so 11. But really beautiful together. I really like, if you like your greens, I really like those colours together. And texture-wise, with the mohair every other stripe, is really nice. It's very soft, very airy. I said on the previous episode, I think I might like to attempt making myself a jumper at some point with those yarns. A different colour though, probably, just add a little excitement, change the colour up. So anyway, watch this space. I'll keep you posted on that. Now the next thing I've bought is something new. I just picked it up and thought I must do some more work on this item. I'm going to try not to drop it all over the floor this time. It's a good job the yarns aren't made out of glass. It'd be very noisy, wouldn't it, dropping everything, and messy. Okay, I'm going to pop those over there and hope they stay. Okay. Now what we've got here, again, I've gone off on my own little adventure, but this is from Andrea Mowry, her shifty pattern. She's got the most beautiful, beautiful patterns. And again, the intention was, I started off, right, I'm going to do this because it would have been new to me, because it's I'm sure, if I remember rightly, it's a top down. I went off on my own little tangent. So this is her design that she's done. This with stitch she's used, I should say. And although it's a stitch that's probably around, I found it through Andrea Mowry. So it's lovely and bumpy. So at the moment, I've just called this my bumpy winter woolly. Nearly. See the colours? You know what it's for. Now I'm a little unsure, again, because I'm doing some raglan decreases, but this time I didn't think about it before, I haven't joined the sleeves in, so everything's going to be separate and sewn together. But with my decreases, with the other jumper, I was doing them pretty much every other row. This, I haven't. I wonder whether I should have done my decreases and then knit straight for a while, but I've sort of decreased up to this is the back, this part, and that's going to be across the back of my neck, and I've just decreased up to that point. It's going to be a lot of work to undo if it doesn't sit right. So it's nice and it's the right length, and that side of it's all fine. It's just gone a little bit wobbly down the raglan edge. I'm hoping once it's, actually I don't even know whether I want to sew it together. Again, if anybody knows, if anybody's had this problem before, because I've seen if I sew it all together, just to see if it then hangs, you know, gravity does its thing, it hangs correctly. I'm just hoping it will sit flat. We shall see. Again, I'll keep you posted. And the yarns used for this is West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and I've got this one here, what's the name? Oh, Sour Apple. There you go. So this one's Sour Apple, West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, Cherry Drop, and Marshmallow. So there you go. Let's pop those down there and show you my next thing. It's on my needles. Well, I have been working on it the past couple of weeks. It was on my needles, but it's finished. Just one. I've got the other one to do, and it was the Berlin socks, which I've mentioned before and shown before. And again, this is Paintbox Yarns in Coffee Bean. So I'll put that to one side. So we'll list all that down. It's a really nice pattern for a lovely fit. So because it's got the knits and pearls, and it just fits beautifully. And I decided to do that in one colour, but I think you could incorporate other colours. So I will. It won't be I'll definitely do some more of those at some point. So I will list down the designer. But if you want to go looking for that on Ravelry, it's the Berlin socks. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. So this week's What's in the Frame is some socks I did a long time ago. And again, I would like to do these again because I would like to make some changes, because they were something I designed so long ago. I would actually like to make some changes on them, which I am doing some changes on my patterns, because like with everything, you progress and improve. And so I'm going to be doing I call it a bit of a spring clean through my Ravelry shop. So anybody who's purchased any patterns before will get updates and anything I add. So if I do these, and I do them in different colours, obviously I list the yarns I've used, but I think I want to put some stripes on the soles of the feet. I just think they might look really good. So yeah, watch this space. I'll keep you posted. Now these have got not very original names. So this one, I want to get to the right place. This one here is Green is Seen. So I might have to rename them, because if I do them in different colours and put them up, it's not really going to make a lot of sense, is it? And this one is Blue and Green. There used to be a saying when I was younger saying blue and green should never be seen unless there's yellow in between. But that was the idea around it. Blue and green should never be seen. I think my title was too long for Ravelry, so they're just blue and green. But that's what's in the frame this week. Again, West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, chocolate lime and marshmallow for this one. And then this one is, again, West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and that one is Blueberry Bonbon. That's a good name, isn't it? And chocolate lime. And these are the two I wear together, because you know, if you saw some of my earlier videos, I used to do a lot of just knitting a sock, getting the second sock syndrome, and thinking, I can just knit one sock, it's fine. I'm used to having odd socks. And I am passionate about odd socks for another reason, which I've mentioned before, is an anti-bullying thing that happens here in the UK. It's obviously all year round. That it's the Anti-Bullying Alliance, if you want to look those up. But certain times of the year they do an odd sock day, so I love odd socks just for that reason, promote those. Although I do find I will do a matching pair now, because I found I quite like doing that. I can get over this second sock syndrome, and it might take me a little while sometimes, but like with my bedtime knit, I can't remember exactly, did I use those needles? I've definitely done the right amount of stitches because I've counted them, but it does look a bit smaller, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, that's what's in the frame this week, and those are the two I would wear together because they match to a certain degree within the colours. but they are odd. Okay, what have I got next? So I've said about doing a bit of spring cleaning in my Ravelry store, which, like I say, will involve particularly the heel flap work that I posted before. I'm going to do some heel flap adjustments, but you'll still have both, but there will just be an adjustment. So if anybody is watching that has a border pattern, then I will be sending out some updates soon. Okay, plans. The plans at the moment is really what I've mentioned, is pattern updates and a bit of a spring clean in the Ravelry store, and so some may disappear, I might retire them, some I will change, some I will add to, some if I've already knitted them and I've done them in a different colour, I'll add the colours that I've used. Just a little adjustment. It's going to take a little while, it's going to be an ongoing thing, so nothing's going to disappear all of a sudden or anything like that, but I am just going to try and work through, rather than, I think I said I haven't done a new design for this month, and it might be that I just concentrate on that for a little while, although I have got a new design on my needles, but I'm just going to keep that to one side to see if it's something I will publish. But I'm loving it. I think I will publish it because I absolutely love it. I think it looks great. It's turned out much better than I could even think that it would have done, so I'll keep you posted on that. Watch this space. Next is purchases. I mentioned this, it's a bit of a torment actually, last time, that I'd made a purchase. Couldn't show you because it hadn't arrived, but it's arrived, and again, it's something I'm really happy with. I'll try not to throw this on the floor as I make a grab for it. I ordered some pom-poms, and it's from a place called The Crafty Bird, which I found a while ago when I was looking for pom-poms, and she had a sale. She was on Instagram and she'd had a sale, and so I took advantage of that and bought a couple of things, but also noticed she'd got some yarn in sale too, which I saw this colour and absolutely loved it. It's going to be a hat, I think. I won't do anything with it just yet. I'll just show you that if I can do it so it doesn't creep. If I turn it that way a little bit. So it's the Crafty Bird. It'll be worked on a bit later on in the year probably, and I will show you. But I did buy this pom-pom to go with it. I think people normally give them a shake. That's it. But beautiful colours, and I've gone with this one. I've gone with the popper, the stud, which I found works quite well on my hats. I don't mind if they wobble a little bit, but it doesn't really with that. And I thought I'd try her ties as well. She had some in the sale, so I bought this. I just thought this was really nice. It's got I may actually pick, can you just see there's a slight blue in there, and I think that's what I'll aim for this to sit on. So I would just need to search for that yarn. And then I just got two more pom-poms. My daughter absolutely loves pink, so I bought a pink pom-pom in the hope to do a pink hat for her. And then another tied one, so that was a stud one. And then I've got this orangey colour. I just thought it was really nice. Again, it'll be a case of trying to match something up. I think this is either black or brown on the ends. So I think I'd get away with doing either of those. So that's something, again, I will be working on later on in the year. So I think I've got lots of hats in the plans. Excuse me just one moment, just gonna have a drink. I've just got some, it's pucker tea, just blackcurrant, in a rabbit mug. Now that, we've got a bit of a theme going on with the rabbit mugs, with the rabbits. Again, that's something I'm going to be showing you in a while. Another thing I'm going to be talking about, I think there's three lots of rabbits this week. So that's the purchases. And then I've got to shine the light this week, a pattern I found on Ravelry. It's not one of the new patterns that I like to try and find somebody who's just kind of just starting out, is something I'm trying to look for. But I saw this and thought this was lovely. Really like this, and would definitely try and have a go at doing that, because I've picked up the crocheting because of, on last week's episode I showed a book where there's some toys which I'm going to be showing you in a bit. I did some crocheting which I hadn't done for a while. I just thought that's what I fancy doing. I fancy doing some crocheting, and I found this bag and I just think that's really nice. It could make a really nice present, but like I say, it takes a lot for me to give my knits away and my craft away, but it could be presents. But love that. So she is Crazy Crochet Cat Lady, and she's got lots of blankets, bags. In fact, her work, I think this is going to be a new to me technique as well in crochet, but some of her work, some of her designs are incredible. You think that somebody's drawn them rather than crocheted them. But so definitely go and check her out on Ravelry. Yeah, really very impressive. I was really impressed when I saw all of her work she was doing. But as I say, saw that bag and loved that. Now we've got a little toy section I'm going to be doing. I've sort of introduced this toy section. I don't know whether it will appear every episode, depending how fast I can do things. It's got two things I'm going to show you in it, which was this book from last week that I showed. I'm never quite sure which side to go and not put it in front of my face. So this is Edward's Menagerie, and I've decided I want to try and crochet every single one. And I've also decided to do them in order. And in fact, just there, this is the one I've started. So I've done half a head and a body. So maybe by next time I'll have the little rabbit to show you. So this is part of the rabbit theme. So I've got the rabbit mug that I was given this morning because my husband kindly makes me a cup of tea first thing, and that was the mug that was picked. Then I've shown you this, and it's the actual rabbit I'm working on. So that is on the hook, and so I could be in my what's on the needles, but it is just really at the moment circles and limbs of things. So I will wait until I've finished one, I think, but maybe not. I know Vince said the same. Vincent. So from Max the Knitter and Vincent, so the Le Garçons, this is where I saw the book and really liked it. But I think he's the same. He's doing more. He first of all crocheted something for his nephew, and he's doing more. But again, I don't think he'd bring. His intention last time was to bring the bits, the limbs. And I say I'll keep you informed on that, keep you posted, and let you know how it's going. But such lovely toys. And I mentioned last week that I liked the idea of that because it was crochet, and I do find crochet a little bit quicker. So I thought I would have a go, see how it's going, and it does. I am finding it quicker because I originally did these bunnies. I've done 3. I haven't got a picture of the other one, and the only thing I did have was a picture. I've given these away as they were part of a wedding present, but they did take quite a while for me to knit. Some people might be able to knit things up like this quite quickly, lots of bits that you join together, and then obviously the clothes. But I found it a little bit slower, but it's such a lovely pattern. I would definitely knit them again if the occasion arose, or I saw something specific, because the lady who does them does all sorts of clothes for them. I've just used her clothing patterns, but done them as bridal colours, and also you can see here, I did some lace, and I bought some little flowers just to do a veil for the bride. So that's that, and again, that will all be listed. She's called, I've written that down here, Julie Williams. Unfortunately, I don't know, I can't remember any of the yarns I used. But I know, I'm sure the main rabbit was knit in double knit, and I think the clothing was possibly in 4-ply. But again, I will list her details down, and you can find her on Ravelry. And yeah, if you fancy knitting some bunnies, or any children out there watching that are looking over their knitter buddy's shoulder and thinks, oh, I'd like one of those, you could find yourself knitting some toys. Okay, I think that's all of the knitting this couple of weeks. For those of you who've watched before, I just do a little section on what I've been watching and my planting after the knitting. So if that's not for you, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. But I'll just move on now to my what's on the box. So what I've been watching on the telly this last couple of weeks, a lot of it's the same because there's a series going on, or stuff I've finished. So the first thing was something I finished, that was Married at First Sight Australia, which I spoke about in some earlier episodes. So I was quite hopeful. There was one particular couple I felt really hopeful for. Oh my goodness, that ended not well at all. It was a very sour ending as well, which is not great. But the reasons I like watching it, there was some happy ending stories so far. So wish them completely well and hope that does work out for them, like it has done on many occasions. I'm quite fascinated by it, that previous episodes there's been couples that, you know, got together and stayed together, gone on to have children, and yeah, created a life together. So really good, really enjoyed that. MasterChef UK, we keep getting a bit behind, I keep forgetting that it's on. So we did watch a couple of those last night, and they're really good. There's one particular contestant at the moment that I've got my eye on. I think, as it stands at the moment, the amount we've seen, although I've got quite a bit more to see, I think he's going to do really well. But he might not. Watch this space. I'll let you know. Oh no, I won't let you know, just in case people are catching up on it. No, I won't let you know. I try not to give anything away. I'm just literally telling you the things I'm watching. Ted Lasso, again, that's light watching, makes us laugh, and it's quite endearing. We was watching some last night, and it was sometimes there's episodes where I think, have the writers all gone on holiday, and something else is happening. Somebody else is writing, because it completely changes, but it doesn't just change, it changes to something that you kind of think, well, this hasn't been like the Ted Lasso I've been watching. It has happened in programmes before. I think Grey's Anatomy was one of them. There was one particular episode that really stands out to me. But this particular episode last night, although very different, it was really good fun. I really enjoyed it. It was mainly about the coach. No, it wasn't about his coach, so Ted Lasso's coach. He's kind of his right-hand man, if you like. Next thing I discovered when I was going through, I think I'd finished Married at First Sight Australia, and I was just flicking through to see if there was other stuff to watch, and I saw that there was Big Brother Australia. Now, I've never watched any of the Big Brother Australias. In fact, I don't think I've ever watched any other Big Brothers. I've not seen Big Brother here for a long time. I was quite an avid watcher, but I haven't seen it for a long time because it stopped here. Although there is talk, I'm sure there was something last year, there was talk about them bringing it back this year. So I'll keep an eye out for that. But this Big Brother Australia, I've literally only just started, but it'll be something that during the day, if I'm sitting down, having a little knit, I'll put it on and I'll thoroughly enjoy it, I'm sure. The I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, the All Stars, where it was the previous contestants that rather than going to Australia, they went to South Africa. That's just finished, and that was really good. I was really pleased with the winner. Just loved the show. Loved it being in South Africa. It's great in Australia, but South Africa and some of the trials they were doing are really good. So again, if that's something you like to watch, certainly catch up on that. That was good if it's available to you. Yellowstone, that's I've previously said before, we're watching, love it, lovely scenery as it was recommended to me. The scenery is amazing, and it's great, you know, watching cowboys work, but it is one that I hide behind the cushion sometimes. The characters are great. I am enjoying getting to know all the characters, and there's a nice, I'm hoping it's going to turn into a really nice story line at the moment that I'm watching. But again, it's all cryptic, isn't it? I wonder whether this is a good section or not, because I talk about it and, oh, I really like this, but let's say I don't want to give too much away. So anyway, let me know. And the other thing is Gogglebox. We've been keeping up on. Oh, and first dates actually. There's two things, because that's just reminded me. Because sometimes on Gogglebox they show first dates, so I have to try and make sure I'm up to date on things like first dates. Otherwise, they show it on Gogglebox, and not that it ruins it for me, but you'll find if it's a series, like a drama series, they show so much of it, and you just kind of think, well, I probably don't need to watch that episode now. They've shown so much on Gogglebox. So moving on is my planting. I said last time, something that the enthusiasm has gone. I don't know what it is. So what I have planted is doing really, really well, even though I forgot to water them last time. They're doing really, really well, and so I'm really happy with them. Very established and growing nicely. But I haven't put anything new in. I didn't put anything new in, all the stuff that I was meant to do up till April. So I think it's going to be a bit sparse out there this year, but we have managed to do a bit of tidying. So a bit of weeding and a bit of tidying, so I don't feel quite so bad. But I think that really is it. Are you growing anything? Do you love your garden, love planting, like to grow vegetables, like to grow flowers? I'm doing a bit of both this, well, was meant to be doing a bit of both. I have got some flowers and I've got some vegetables, and I think I listed all of those, what I am growing, in a previous episode. So if I think about it, I can always add what I've got on the way at the moment that's done really well. And I don't know whether it's something you can plant a bit later, or something you want to keep in mind for next year, if it is something you're interested in. But I must get going. I think I definitely want to get going on my courgettes and my beans, because I can't imagine going out a summer without those in the garden. You know, my summer veg. Anyway, thank you again if you've watched this episode, and if you've watched previous episodes. I will be back in a couple of weeks. I'll let you know what's been going on and how much knitting I've got done. But for now, I hope you'll have a good couple of weeks and happy crafting. And I'll say cheerio. Cheerio. Bye-bye.